Crafters, this is Karen from Karen's Crafting Company, and today I'm going to show you everything I created using the January 2022 Gather at Home Club Kit from Echo Park. If you missed the unboxing video for this kit, I'll have it linked in the description box below. Overall, I was able to make 20 A7 size cards, also known as 5x7, 52 A2 size cards, which are your standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 size, 8 slimlines, 1 postcard, 2 bookmarks, and 22 tags. For the majority of the cards, I did use card sketches. And when I create cards in mass production, the sketches make the process go a lot faster, and it also makes it easier. Since I donate most of my cards, using the sketches was the way to go. Are you all ready to see what I made? Let's dive in. So first I'm going to show you all the A7 size cards, and with these cards I used one of the 12 by 12 cut-aparts, and this was the 6 by 4 size. And I was able to get 5 cards from that paper, and then I was able to get 1 postcard. So for the postcard, on the flip side, I designed that using my Cricut design space, and then I adhered the white cardstock onto the 6 by 4 cut apart, and that's how I got my postcard. And for the rest of these cards, I used the A2 frame die, and that left the middle part cut out, which left that opening. And that was the perfect size for my 6 by 4 cut aparts. And then the pieces that were cut out, you will see those on the next set of cards that I'll show you in just a moment. And on the inside, I added some paper strips along with some stickers. And you will see throughout the video that for the majority of my cards, I did add a lot of the paper scraps and stickers inside my cards. The next set of A7 size cards, these are the pieces that were cut out when I used the A2 frame die that I showed you. So you see that black gingham, that was the part that was cut out when I used that die frame. And I just adhered these all to the front of the A7 card bases. And these all were made without using sketches. And the clock paper that you see there, that was already cut down from other cards that I made, so it fit perfect on the front of that card base. And I'm just using up my, more stickers and paper strips, and using up those frames and tags on the front of my cards, and some bling and the banner stickers. And here I added another strip with a sticker inside. I thought that was a nice added touch to the inside of the card. And the other set of A7 cards, this was from the 4 by 4 cut apart sheet, and there were a total of 9 cut aparts, and I was able to make 8 cards using the A7 size, and then this card here is A2, and that cut apart was blank, and I used that Hello Friend sentiment from the stamp set that came with the kit. It was pretty simple. It just that just really took care of the sentiment that I was using. And these cards here, as you can see, I used the same template, if you will. I did not use card sketches for these. I just kind of came up with these on my own. And again, trying to use up those cut aparts. And every time I would come up with scraps, when I was cutting my papers, I really wanted to try to use them as much as I could inside again, the majority of my cards. And this last set here was from the cut apart page that had a variety of sizes. And as you see here in the middle card, that is my Hero Arts wood grain die frame that I used. And then inside I added a sticker, cut out some paper strips and a banner. And my thought process here was, I've seen a lot of crafters add stamps to the inside of the card. And because I have so many stickers from that 12 by 12 sheet, I really wanted to use up my stickers. So instead of stamping an image on the inside, I basically just used the stickers. And then, again, using my scraps to come up with those banners or paper strips. Adding that cute embellishment on the front. More scraps to use for the banners. Here I used some of those chipboard accents to decorate the front, and I left that card inside blank. And here I'm moving on to the A2 size cards, and these, this handful here, I created all on my own. I did not use sketches for these. And as you can see with the circle cards, the first two on the left, I did use that sentiment from the stamp set that came with the kit. And here I used one of the cut aparts and more of those stickers from the sticker sheet. And here for those leaves, that was from the stamp set as well, and I fussy cut those out, and then I had that picket fence die that I wanted to add just to give it a little bit more decor in the front. And then that was another cut apart on the front that came from my 6x6 paper pad. I was able to use a couple of embossing folders. This one is my 3D swirl, and that happiness was from that cut apart page that came in a variety of sizes. So it worked great as my sentiment. Another embossing folder, I was able to use my wood grain, and I added some tags there along with some bling. This card, I actually used the inspiration sheet that came with the kit. And those leaves that you see there, again, I stamped them, and then I fussy cut those out and just added them for more detail with the other embellishments that I added on the card. Some chipboard, that chipboard flower, the thank you, that was one of the, from the frames and dies, the frames and tags, excuse me. And these next cards, 4 cards that I'm showing you, is from, I was able to use this comic strip frame die that I've had in my stash, and I really wanted to bring this in and see if I can incorporate it, and I really wanted to make sure I had enough papers to do so. So I was able to, and basically you take your pattern paper and you place it over the die and you run it through your die cutting machine, and then as you see here, you get the different pieces, and it's basically like putting a puzzle together. You put the tape on the reverse side, and then you just place the pieces in their coordinating spot. And then I just used my stickers and chipboard pieces for the sentiment pieces. And now I'm going to show you the A2 size cards that I made using some sketches. And my first sketch here that you see is from Jess, and she's from Jess's Crafts, and she has a YouTube channel along with Instagram, and she has her own blog. And on her blog, she will have these templates that you can use and print out for free. So that bottom template that I just showed you on the bottom right here, that was the template I used to make these 4 cards. And these cards, the 3x4 cut aparts, that was one of those sheets that came in the 12x12 pack. And I was able to get a total of 12 cards using those cut aparts. And I will link Jess's information in the description box below if you want to check her out and see what she's all about. She does focus a lot on one sheet wonders. That's what her templates are based on. And she creates a lot of templates where you will have no scraps remaining. So her second template that I used was the Slimline Template. And you'll see one of the cards is a true one sheet wonder. Just was able to use that one sheet, but the cut apart just happened to match the paper that I had. So here's that one sheet wonder example. The middle portion was the cut apart, and I did have enough papers to make that one whole template. So it did work out pretty well. Definitely a great way to utilize your scraps as you are, working on big projects like this. Next, I'm bringing in Call Me Crafty Al sheet load of cards, and if you're not familiar with her, she basically designs these templates on her own, and you do need to be a subscriber to her YouTube channel in order for you to get these templates. And she basically gives you all the information you need, from the supplies to the number of cards that you can make with this one, with each template. She gives you modifications, and then on the second sheet she'll show you the measurements and how to go about cutting everything down to its proper size. And when I first saw the 3x4 cut apart sheet, I knew that I was going to be using this template to use up some of those cut aparts. And as you can see from the template, that the front part of that card is a 3x4 size. So my cut aparts definitely fit perfectly. So these cards are, you may know them as a fun fold or a Z fold card, and super easy. The cut apart basically took care of my sentiment for me. It was super easy. Here I'm adding more of those small chipboard pieces. I did have quite a few of those for the chipboards and stickers, and you'll see how I utilize them, as we move along. And there's that fishtail banner gingham to match that chair. Another one of those small chipboard pieces. Just enough to add a little bit more detail to that sentiment. And I got 8 cards. This sheet load yielded 8 cards, and I was able to do all 8. And this is the October 2019 sheet load. The next sheet load I have that I used was the December 2019. And again, looking at the template, you see that there's a sentiment strip there. And I modified this slightly. I was able to get 3 cards from this template. So my tags, as you can see here, have sentiments on them already. So that eliminated that sentiment strip. And for these cards, I did not add anything to the inside. I did use my bling and other embellishments to add to the front. And the next sheet load I used was the April 2020. And with this template, I was able to get 3 cards from this. And I did modify it slightly, as you can see from the sketch. It does have those 3x4 pieces matted, and your sentiment piece is in a circle. And what I did was, for my 3x4 pieces, I did not mat those, and I used my stickers or chipboard pieces as my sentiment. And again, for Crafty Elle's sheet load of cards, I will link her information in my description box below, so you can check her out if you have not heard of her before. This is the April 2021 sheet load of cards, and this is my 8th slimline, so I was able to make a mini slimline, and I was definitely running low on the paper, so I had enough that I could, at least make this size card. And then I added the happiness sentiment that I got from my cut apart sheet, and then added a bling. The next sheet load is the August 2021, and I got 2 cards from this template. And the top card I did modify slightly. I did not add that sentiment strip because my embellishment here has the sentiment right on it. And then for this one, I pretty much followed it exactly. That was from the branding strip, and I pretty much just cut that down to size, and I used that as my sentiment. And the last sheet load that I used was the February 2022. And the only difference here really was the ephemera piece. I didn't put it on the sentiment strip. As you can see, the size of the stickers that I used, I just placed them above the sentiment strip instead of on top of. And then again, adding more of the strips inside, trying to use up those scraps and more of those chipboard and sticker pieces that I had. Now these next set of A2 cards, I've have these sketches that I use that I really like, and this one is the Mojo Monday sketch number 534, and these sketches are pretty much I used trying to find where I could use scraps, and here I was able to add that strip to the inside along with the sticker. Now the rest of these cards are from the Operation Right Home, and they are definitely one of my favorite sketches to use. And I'm starting here with sketch number 248, and as you can see, all those circles, as I mentioned before on the sticker sheet, they had all these smaller size stickers, and this sketch was perfect for the purpose of using those tiny stickers. The next sketch that I used here is sketch number 175, and this called for 1-inch squares, and I had enough scraps that I was able to do that, and then again trying to use up more of those smaller size stickers and chipboard pieces, and using more scraps for the inside of the card. This is sketch number 151, and here I just cut out my circles, and for the middle circle, that is actually a sticker, and I used the floral sticker as well. Brought in some of my coral cardstock that I had in my stash, and adding more stickers and paper strips to the inside. This is sketch number 44, and for this sketch I was able to make 3 cards, and when you look at the cut aparts, these came from the 6x6 paper pad, And so I was able to use some of those. I didn't use all of them because I really wanted to use the other side of the papers. These were super easy. I just added that vertical strip and then placed my cut apart on the top, and it acted as a sentiment. And the next sketch is sketch number 21. And again, just trying to use up those scraps. Again, a perfect sketch for, when you're down to your last bit of scraps. And then this is sketch number 39. Using that, sticker for my sentiment. And this is sketch number 57. And as you can see here, that coral cardstock, as I mentioned, I did have that in my stash, and it matched perfectly with this kit. So I was so glad that I had that left over in my stash, and I was able to utilize it with, my project here. And this is sketch number 87. And again, using all those scraps to create these cards. And this is sketch number, this is actually bonus 31. And all I did differently was I took my mat and my sentiment and I centered it instead of having it over to the right. And the inside, again, using up those stickers and paper strips. This is sketch number 188. Those chipboard banners, really, really cute. And this is definitely my all-time favorite sketch when it comes to using scraps. And this is sketch number 154. And I was able to make 3 cards with this sketch. And as you can see here, these 2 centerpieces, those circles, those were from scraps that I had, and I just used my Hero Arts circle nesting dies to cut those out and use those as my focal point. And then the welcome strips on the bottom was my sentiment. And then this last card, I was able to use a chipboard piece as my focal point, and then I had a happiness sticker to use as my sentiment. And then the last sketch that I used is sketch number 67. This is also another one of my favorites. And here I was, trying to use up those tags that I had. And so I brought those in, added a little bit of bling, wanted to cover up that hole. And I really liked how these 2 patterns really went well together. I really liked how these 2 cards in particular came out. Now that you've seen everything I made with the cards, let me show you the banners that I made. So these are also from the cut apart page that had the variety of sizes. And all I did here was I snipped the top portion and I punched a hole and I dug out some of the twine I had in my stash and added it, and it worked out perfect. The colors just match so nicely. And quick story, I do make bookmarks on a regular basis for the librarian at my younger daughter's middle school. And when she's in need, she reaches out and she lets me know that she needs them. And I make them for both the staff and for the students. And I have a bunch that I made with a previous paper pad that I'll be turning into her over the next week. And then last but certainly not least, I have all my 22 tags that I made. And out of the entire project, I would honestly have to say that this was my favorite part. And basically all I did was the base of the tag, I used my Cricut Design space to cut all those out. And as I go through the tags with you, you'll see that they come in different sizes and even shapes. So, you know, again, just really trying to use up a lot of the rest of my stickers, my chipboard, you know, my scraps that I had. And, you know, as you can see there, the base I was able to use for some of the tags was my coral cardstock. So, you know, I definitely had enough of the paper left to use that as the base of the tag. There's those fishtail banners from the chipboards. That thank you is from the stamp set that came with the kit. That flower was, I fussy cut that out from the scrap paper that I had left over and just added a couple of those embellishments. And here you will see that I made 4 cards using stencils as part of the background. And the stencils there on the left, that is a plaid stencil that I found at Michael's. And the stencil on the right, that was actually designed by Crafty Elle. And she, you know, that's called Peppermint Stripes. And I used that in 2 different ways. I did a diagonal and then I did a vertical. And I added, again, fussy cut out the flower from one of the scraps, added it to the card, and, you know, I used my oxides, you know, to add the color there. And, you know, I like that I was able to use the stencil in, you know, a couple of different ways. Again, super easy, a lot of fun, and I just really liked that tone-on-tone look with the tags. And here's another size that I picked for the tag. Another, you know, a wider type tag. I definitely liked the options that I had to choose from when I created my tags. And, you know, here you'll see, here's an oval one. You know, just again, I just wanted, you know, a little bit of variety. And again, using up those small chipboard pieces. And these smaller tags. And then these 2 tags here were from that cut apart page as well that had the different sizes. And this one is pretty straightforward. I really didn't do much to it. I just snipped the tops and then I took my crocodile, added the hole, and added my twine. And then for this tag, I used that leaf stamp to, you know, add a little bit more to the tag, and then I had some scraps and more of the chipboard accents to use. And, you know, that takes care of all the tags that I made. Now that you've seen everything I made, let me show you the scraps I have left over. So here I have a few embellishments left. I have 7 total left. And then I have some of those border strips that came from the cut apart page. And then this was a branding strip from one of the 12 by 12 pattern papers. And then I've got these little pieces here left. You know, not really many left over. So I was really happy that I was able to use a lot of the scraps to, you know, add more decor to the cards and the tags, and, you know, it was really fun. So those pieces I will be saving for a scrapbook project that I have waiting for me to dive in. So those will definitely not go to waste. All right, friends, this wraps up another video. I hope it has inspired you to dive into any kits that you may have in your stash. If I've left you with any questions, please leave them in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Stay tuned for another unboxing video for the March 2022 Club Kit. It will ship to me at the end of the month. Until then, peace, and I hope your day is a crafty one. Bye-bye.